personally, here's where I think they didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season. And I don't think she got the credit that she did.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes claimed to have the inside scoop on the Fever's locker room drama? Well, Kelsey Mitchell just put those rumors to rest with one signature. By re-signing with Indiana, she didn't just commit to the team, she completely shut down every wild theory Swoopes tried to stir up.
What's up, everybody? Kelsey Mitchell here, and I'm a Fever girl again. So to my fans, to the basketball world, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Indy has been good to me, and hopefully I could pour in and give the same. So here's to being a Fever girl.
But here's where it gets interesting. Mitchell didn't just sign. She had some choice words that are about to make Swoopes eat her own words. You won't believe what Kelsey has to say as she shuts down the rumors, defends Caitlin Clark, and doubles down on why she's proud to call Indiana her second home. Buckle up, because this story is about to get real. Ready? Let's dive in.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit
like
going
it's
on
a lot.
around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
You know what's worse than a pot stirrer? A supposed legend and Hall of Famer doing it. Let's talk about Sheryl Swoopes and her so-called insider info on the Fever. This woman's been spinning stories faster than a basketball on her finger, and it's time to set the record straight. Picture this: Swoopes, perched on her high horse, drops a bombshell on Gilbert Arenas' podcast. She claims there's a lot of drama with the Fever, alleging that players are itching to bail and saying, "This isn't where I want to be, really, Sheryl." Because from where we're standing, the Fever just had their best season in years. But hold up, it gets even juicier. Swoopes didn't just trash the team culture. She went after Caitlin Clark like a defender on a fast break. Remember when she tried to downplay Clark's NCAA scoring record? Swoopes claimed Clark was in her 5th year, a 25-year-old playing against teenagers. Well, newsflash. Clark was in her 4th year, just turned 23. And as for Swoopes' prediction about Clark struggling in the WNBA, let's just say that didn't age well. Clark became the first rookie in nearly 20 years to make the All-WNBA first team, and broke 62 records in her rookie season. But sure, Sheryl, keep calling it struggling. Would you call 3 dominant seasons in your career struggling? Yeah, didn't think so. Swoopes seems more willing to discredit her own career than admit Clark is a force to be reckoned with. Now you might be thinking, maybe Swoopes has a point about the Fever's locker room after all. She's Sheryl Swoopes, right? Well, here's the thing, she doesn't. As a veteran and media personality, you'd think she'd have the inside scoop. But guess what? Kelsey Mitchell, the player Swoopes claimed was being mistreated, just re-signed with the Fever. The same Kelsey Mitchell that Swoopes said wasn't getting the credit she deserved. Funny enough, while Swoopes was busy playing armchair GM, Fever management was praising both Clark and Mitchell. Amber Cox, the team president, couldn't stop gushing about them. She even said that re-signing Mitchell was the team's top priority, and coach Stephanie White has been just as vocal about Mitchell's importance to the future. So, what's really going on here? Is Swoopes just out of touch, or is she trying to stir up drama where there isn't any? The Fever aren't buying it. They know they wouldn't be where they are without Kelsey Mitchell. She's been a cornerstone of the team for years. But here's where it gets really interesting. What did Kelsey Mitchell actually say that's putting Swoopes in her place? Why is she so thrilled to be back with the Fever? We're about to dive into that, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Now, let's talk sour grapes, because that's exactly what Sheryl Swoopes is serving up, and it's not a good look. Remember when Caitlin Clark won Time's Athlete of the Year? It was a groundbreaking moment for women's basketball, marking the first time a WNBA player snagged that title. You'd think everyone in the basketball world would be celebrating, right? Not Swoopes. When asked about it, instead of celebrating, Swoopes played party pooper on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, questioning the other candidates and offering up some cold commentary. Swoopes is over here questioning the award criteria like she's some investigative journalist. Is it really just about what you do on the court? She asks. Come on, Sheryl. We all know it's not just about the points and assists. While Caitlin Clark was an MVP candidate in the WNBA last year, it's also about impact, influence, and pushing the sport forward. And Clark is doing all of that and more. From her back-to-back historic NC double, a senior season at Iowa, to her record-breaking freshman year at Indiana, she's been rewriting the narrative. The fact that she's the first WNBA player ever to win Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, that's a huge deal. But wait, it gets better. Swoopes suggests that A'ja Wilson should have been nominated instead. Now, don't get me wrong. Wilson is a force on the court, but this isn't about comparing players. It's about recognizing a monumental moment for women's basketball as a whole. Swoopes missed the big picture here, and it's honestly kind of embarrassing. The question isn't just about on-court performance. It's about the impact a player has on the game, and Caitlin Clark is moving the needle in ways we've never seen before. You know what real leadership looks like? Look no further than Amber Cox, the Indiana Fever's GM. When asked about Clark, Cox didn't hesitate. She called it an massive deal for women's basketball. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's pure, unadulterated support for a player who's changing the game. And let's talk about change. You've heard the old argument that women's basketball doesn't draw crowds. Well, Clark just obliterated that myth. Analysts aren't just saying Clark moves the needle. They're saying she is the needle. Clark's on-court performance is historic, no doubt, but off the court, she's a game changer. And while Swoopes is busy throwing shade, the Fever organization is basking in the spotlight. The Fever and Clark alone accounted for 45% of the WNBA's broadcast value last season. They helped merchandise sales skyrocket by 500%, with Clark's jersey at the top of the charts. The numbers don't lie. Viewership and attendance for the WNBA saw huge spikes in 2024. Packed arenas, merchandise flying off the shelves, social media buzzing non-stop. It's not just good for Clark or the Fever, it's good for the entire league. Clark knows her worth, and she's very strategic about where she places her value. Swoopes, on the other hand, seems stuck in the past, acting like Clark's success somehow takes away from others. It's a classic case of back-in-my-day syndrome, and for a Hall of Famer, that's not a good look. You think someone who blazed trails in her own career would be cheering on the next generation, but instead, Swoopes is trying to rain on their parade. The basketball community isn't having it though. Analysts, fans, and players alike are calling her out for spreading misinformation and trying to undermine current players. It's like she forgot that the game moves forward, not backward, and right now, it's moving at Caitlin Clark's pace. And then there's Kelsey Mitchell, who just re-signed with the Indiana Fever. Hold up, wait a minute. That's not what Swoopes predicted, right? She claimed Mitchell was about to escape a toxic situation. Well, turns out, maybe not. Swoopes is getting absolutely crushed for this, especially after Kelsey Mitchell agreed to stay with the Fever. So here's the million-dollar question. Why is Swoopes so bent out of shape about Clark's success? Is it jealousy? A misguided attempt to stay relevant? Or is there something deeper going on that we're all missing?